Your Wrangler can do things almost no other SUV on the planet can. The problem is, most new owners never learn how to use these features properly. Today, I'll show you the first 10 Wrangler features every owner should master before their first adventure. So let's start with number 1, the removable doors. This is the feature everybody knows about, and it's still the coolest trick on the truck. Your Wrangler is one of the only vehicles you can buy today where the doors come clean off and you just go cruising. You don't need a shop, and you don't even need your own tools because Jeep tucks a little Torx toolkit right in the truck. On the newer ones, the doors are made of aluminum, so they're lighter than the old steel ones, and they've got a built-in handle inside to make lifting them easier. You unplug the wiring, pop the door strap, and lift the door off its hinge pins. But there's a catch that trips up almost every new owner. Your side mirrors are bolted to the doors, not the body. So the second those doors come off, your mirrors go with them. And in a lot of states, driving with no mirrors is a ticket waiting to happen. That's why owners grab a set of doors-off mirrors that clamp onto the body, and the factory kit even throws in a little cover plate for the empty bolt holes. One more thing, those doors are heavy, even the aluminum ones, so grab a buddy and set them on a soft blanket so you don't scratch the paint. So your doors are off. Now look up, because the next trick is sitting right above the windshield. That takes us to number 2, the fold-down windshield. Yeah, you read that right. The whole front windshield folds flat down onto the hood, and almost no other vehicle on the road can do that. It goes all the way back to the old Army Jeeps, when soldiers dropped the glass to cut the glare and stay low. Now the older Wranglers turned this into a nightmare, with more than 24 bolts and an hour of swearing. But the newer ones fixed it. You pop the wiper arms off with the included socket, take out just 4 bolts along the top, and fold the glass down onto the hood. One thing to know, the bar above your head stays up, so only the glass folds, not the whole frame. Plenty of folks try this once for the fun of it, then put it right back, because wind and bugs in your teeth at speed get old fast. But that same little toolkit keeps earning its spot, because it handles the biggest open-air choice of all, the thing sitting over your head. Up next at number 3 is your choice of tops. This is where new owners get a little lost, so let me keep it dead simple. Your Wrangler came with one of 3 roofs. The first is the Sunrider soft top, and the new ones have no zippers at all, so flipping it back takes seconds instead of a wrestling match. The second is the Freedom hardtop, a 3-piece hard roof where the 2 front panels pop off by hand and store in a padded bag in the back. And the third, the fancy one, is the Sky One Touch Power Top. That one's special. It's a soft panel that slides all the way back at the push of a button, opening up the front and back seats, and you can open or close it while driving at speeds up to 60 miles an hour. The whole thing takes about 20 seconds. You can even pull out the back corner windows for more airflow. Just know the Sky One Touch only comes on the 4-door Sahara and Rubicon, and if you live somewhere cold and snowy, the solid hardtop seals up tighter and stays quieter on the highway. And if you want the full open-air feeling, that Sunrider soft top comes all the way off too, not just folded back. So figure out which roof you've got, because it decides how fast you can chase a sunny day. But all this open-air stuff is the easy part. The next feature is what actually makes a Wrangler a Wrangler. Now we get into the real off-road stuff with number 4, the 4-wheel drive system. This is the feature you have to understand, because using it wrong can break your truck. Down by your gear shifter is a second lever, and that's your transfer case. Depending on your trim, you've got Command Track, Select Track, or the beefy Rock Track on a Rubicon. The 2 settings that matter most are 4 high and 4 low. You use 4 high for slippery stuff at normal speed, like snow, sand, and wet gravel. You drop into 4 low for slow, heavy work, like crawling up rocks, because it multiplies your pulling power big time. On a Rubicon, that 4-to-1 low range gives a crawl ratio of around 84-to-1, and with the manual gearbox and the right axle, it jumps to a wild 100-to-1, so you can creep over rocks barely touching the gas. There's even a setting called Select Speed Control that walks you down a steep hill at a set speed, so you don't have to ride the brakes. And a quick money saver, never leave it in part-time 4-wheel drive on dry pavement, because the axles lock together and that bind can break expensive parts. So your grip is sorted, but on a real obstacle, you need your wheels to do something special. Quick pause. If you're serious about taking care of your Wrangler, My 500,000-mile Jeep blueprint walks you through everything you need to keep it running for the long haul. It's linked in the description below. And that brings us to number 5, the electronic sway bar disconnect. If you bought a Rubicon, you've got one of the slickest off-road tricks ever put in a factory truck, and tons of owners never even press the button. Your front sway bar is the metal bar that stops the Jeep from tipping in corners on the road. Great for pavement, but terrible for rocks, because it keeps your wheels from stretching freely. So Jeep gave the Rubicon a button that lets that bar go, so your front wheels can droop way down and stay glued to the ground. More tires touching means more grip. But this is the part that fools people, and it's one reason owners get stranded. The sway bar only lets go in four-wheel drive, and it snaps back together the moment you hit 18 miles an hour. The button on your dash even blinks to warn you it reconnected. So it's built for slow crawling, not for flying down a dirt road. Now your wheels can flex like crazy. But flexing alone still won't drag you over a ledge, and that's where the next one comes in. Number 6 is the one that surprises everyone, the locking differentials. This sounds techy, but it's actually simple, and it's the biggest lifesaver on the trail. Normally, when one of your wheels lifts off the ground or hits ice, all your power takes the easy way out and just spins that one wheel doing nothing. Total waste. But on a Rubicon, you get TrueLock lockers, front and rear, bolted into tough Dana axles built to take a beating. When you flip a locker on, both wheels on that axle are forced to spin together, at the same speed, no matter what. So even if one tire is hanging in midair, the other one still grabs and drags you over. The smart move is to use the rear locker first, and only add the front one when you really need it, because a locked front axle makes your steering stiff. And one big rule, only lock them in 4 low at crawling speed, never on the road, or they'll fight you in every turn. Lock up at the bottom of an obstacle, crawl over it, then shut them off at the top. That's how a Wrangler climbs stuff that leaves fancier SUVs stuck at the bottom. And not every Wrangler gets both. Some trims like the Willys come with just a rear locker, which is still a big help. But what if you want grip and speed at the same time? That's a totally different button, which leads us straight to number 7, Off-Road Plus Mode. This one's so easy to miss, but it's one of the smartest buttons on the whole truck. On a Rubicon, it's standard, and one press tells the Jeep you're off-road now. It changes your gas pedal feel, your shift points, and how the traction control acts, all tuned for dirt instead of pavement. And the clever part is it works 2 different ways. At high speed, it's built for sand and dunes, letting you keep your speed up and even hold the rear locker on while the front stays loose so you can still steer. At low speed, it sharpens everything up for careful rock crawling. While you're in there, poke around the off-road pages on your screen too, because they show you how tilted the Jeep is, front to back and side to side, and which wheels are getting the power. Now the whole truck works with you instead of against you. But even with all this, there's still one thing you can't do from the driver's seat, which is see over your own hood. Number 8 fixes a problem you didn't even know you had, the forward-facing TrailCam. This is the modern feature that old-school Jeep guys are honestly a little jealous of. When you're crawling up a steep rock, your hood points at the sky, and you go totally blind to whatever's right in front of your tires. So Jeep hid a tiny camera in the grille that shows you exactly what's down there. It pops up on the big 8.4-inch touchscreen through that same off-road pages menu, and it can see from about 2 feet in front of your bumper out to 10 feet ahead. The coolest part is the guidelines on the screen actually move with your steering, so you can drop a tire right on a rock on purpose. And when that lens gets caked in mud, there's a button that sprays it clean with your washer fluid. So you pull it up with one tap, right when you need it, crawling slow over the gnarly stuff. If you've ever felt that scary blind spot going over an obstacle, this thing turns guessing into seeing. It's only on certain trims, mostly the Rubicon, so check your screen for those off-road pages. Now you can finally see everything. But all these lights and toys need power, and Jeep planned for that too. Then comes number 9, the aux switches. If your Wrangler has these, the factory handed you a gift, and half the owners who have them don't even realize it. Look at the lower part of your dash, that row of 4 extra switches with little symbols. Those are your aux switches, already wired into the truck to power add-ons cleanly, without you splicing into random wires and making a mess. Want to add a light bar, a winch, or an air pump for your tires? These switches run them. And the best part is, you control how each one acts through the Uconnect screen. You can set a switch to stay on with one press, or to only work while you hold it. You can even pick if it pulls power from the battery all the time, or only when the key is on, so you don't drain your battery overnight. Some of those wires run inside the cabin, and some sit out by the battery, so you can power gear inside and out. And one bonus most folks miss. The Wrangler has bolt holes built into the cowl from the factory, so you can mount lights and racks with no drilling at all. So your power's handled. Which brings us to the last one, the feature that closes the loop I opened at the very start. And we'll finish with number 10, the big one, water fording. This is the feature that can either look incredible or kill your engine, depending on whether you respect the limits. Your Wrangler is actually built to drive straight through water, thanks to sealed up wiring, an air intake mounted up high, and little breather tubes routed up out of the way. With standard gear, Jeep rates it for about 30 inches of water. That's roughly up to the bottom of your headlights. Step up to the 35-inch tires in the Extreme package, and it climbs to around 34 inches. But go deeper than the rating without mods, and water gets sucked into your engine or your gear oil, and that's a repair bill that'll ruin your month. The trick the pros use is to drive in slow and steady to push a little wave out front, which makes an air pocket around the engine. And always check the depth first, by walking it or watching another truck cross. This is a huge part of why your Jeep wears that trail rated badge, which means it passed 5 brutal tests: for grip, for deep water, for tight turns, for flexing its wheels, and for the room underneath. And down low, your Jeep already has steel skid plates guarding the gas tank and transfer case, plus 2 tow hooks up front, so if you ever do get stuck, there's a solid spot to hook a strap. That badge is earned, not handed out. So there you go, the first 10 Wrangler features every new owner should know. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more Jeep tips every week. And if you want to keep your Wrangler running for 500,000 miles, check out my 500,000-mile Jeep blueprint linked in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.